Hi, welcome to our series, What's Your Theory, in which we talk to the fandom and ourselves about our favorite wild theory about the Wheel of Time. Today we're going to be talking about Jansen's wild theory. Jansen, go ahead.
My first wild theory today is about the wolves. Essentially, the wolves and the wolf brothers and all the things that they had in common with the humans, such as Tel'aran'rhiod, such as being heroes of the Horn even, and being troops for the shadow and for the light. So, in the Wheel of Time, everything is yin and yang. There's always a repelling and a pushing and an opposite. And the wolves, aka also known as dark hounds when they were turned, they had a lot of similarities with the humans as far as, being special, as far as like, there's tons of animals in the world, especially during this time in the Wheel of Time. We talk about ones that aren't alive, ones that are alive, ones that are extinct, ones that are mythical, all things like that. But just like humans who stood out as channelers, some animals, like the wolves, stood out to the Dark One and to the light. The wolves were special. They had things that they could do that other animals couldn't do. And they have lots of references towards this that Robert Jordan made that the wolves talked about, such as some of the animals being tame. And that's why they didn't show in the Wheel, in the Tel'aran'rhiod in the World of Dreams. And, the wolves were powerful enough and unique enough. For a long time ago, the Dark One took notice of this. And taking this right from the books, and I believe this was a POV of Semerhag, that anything that the creator could make, the Dark One could destroy. And the wolves were some of the most pure of heart animals in the Wheel of Time. Mm-hmm. The Dark One took that and twisted it, and he made dark hounds. Which brings me to the beginning of my story after explaining all that. When Perrin was, I believe this was, I can't remember which time he was with Aram after Aram have turned. And keep in mind, guys, this is a spoiler alert of Red. I am going to talk about all kinds of things from the Wheel of Time, all the way from the Eye of the World, all the way to A Memory of Light, and then some. Speaking then some, New Spring and other things that we have out there that reference the Wheel of Time. So, excuse me, we go back to the Dark One looking at the wolves and turning them into, weapons of the shadow. And when Perrin was with Aram and found one of those stones that the Dark Hounds had imprinted in, I believe it was Masuri Sadai who told him that, she had some familiarity with finding different packs of Dark Hounds. And some people had said, according to her, there were 7 packs, maybe 13. She had only found something like 8 or 9, maybe even all 12. And this proved that there were more than she thought. And then she said that someone had written about Dark Hounds coming in waves, just coming and coming and coming. And we found out that actually did happen in A Memory of Light. And then it made me start thinking, how did the Shadow obtain so many Dark Hounds? Mm-hmm. And it kept coming back to the only possible conclusion that I could come to was that he recruited someone to get them for him. That being Slayer, who was also someone else as well. Was also Luke, who was Tigraine's brother of House Mantian. So he had disappeared because an Aes Sedai by the name of Guitarra Moroso, one that we hear about all the time, throughout the entire books, from the very beginning actually, had told him that he had to go. We know that later he killed Rand's father, Janduin in the Blight. When Janduin had given up on living because Tigraine, who had taken the name of Shail, had died, giving birth to Rand on Dragonmouth. So we know that those two souls that the Dark One bound together and gave a power to started hunting wolves. Now I was like, how could they have that power? Well, then I came to the conclusion that also Isam, who is known as Slayer, who is also Lan's cousin, could talk to wolves. He would have the ability to enter Tel'aran'rhiod, and the Dark One took hold of that ability and warped it, and gave him an ability that no one else had amongst the Shadow, at least amongst his chosen few. No one else had him, and this is why, even though Isam was not one of the chosen, he was special and unique, and he knew it. And because of that, he could show a little bit of arrogance, actually, to the chosen.
Yeah.
But that being said, this is how I think the Dark One got his, I guess you would call them troops, his Dark Hounds, because they came out with an army at the end of the series, and I believe that had been years and years and years of Slayer without anyone like Perrin, or even Longtooth, who is Elias Machira, went into the world of dreams to stop him. There was only one human being, I believe, other than, I guess if you want to call Slayer a human being, in the world of dreams who could go in and go out. And I don't believe he was even in the right mind to do it. And that would be Boundless. He was the only other one who I know for a fact was in Tel'aran'rhiod during the time, because Perrin met him fairly early. And he wasn't even the leader of a pack. He was adopted into a pack. And his human name was No.
Is the theory that Slayer is creating the Dark Hounds by killing wolves in the Wolf Dream?
Yes. I believe that he just like when Hopper told Perrin, if you die here, you die forever. The Dark One warps everything and he twists everything. So I believe for wolves, if they died there, because most wolves ended up staying in Tel'aran'rhiod after they died, awaiting the call of the Horn. And all those wolves who got killed by Slayer in the Wolf Dream, the Dark One morphed that, twisted it, and they became Dark Hounds.
Yes.
He is the Lord of the Grave, so that would check out.
He's the Lord of the Grave, and Slayer is just insanely obsessed with killing wolves. Like, it's he's so driven and so narrowly focused upon that. This really makes a lot of sense.
And we also have other references to when right before we saw Slayer or Perrin going into the dreams, we have at least 3 different times where he would reach out and there were no wolves when there should have been.
What do you think that means?
I think that means that was Robert Jordan foreshadowing to us some of the repercussions of Slayer already being in the dream when Perrin was there and wondering what's going on, and then seeing him and starting to understand what he was actually doing.
Yeah, and all the wolves know of him.
All the wolves know of him.
Yeah.
Especially because what one wolf knows, pretty much all the wolves know. So their knowledge, and they're able to understand everything that each one of them knows. So yeah, they all knew Slayer. They all knew to be very, very wary of Slayer. Even Hopper, as a dead ghost in the Wolf Dream, was still terrified of Slayer.
Yes.
And as far as we know, Hopper may be the most knowledgeable about the world of dreams in the entire book series. At least I don't know anyone that we could put up there that is better, that could best him. I know people could rival him, but we know that Slayer could kill him, and he was scared of him. And that tells me also exactly how proficient Slayer was in the world of dreams. I don't believe that there's anybody that could rival him either until Perrin manifested his power.
Yeah.
Well, this brings up the good question in my head of the Heroes of the Horn. We know that Brigitte was aware of Slayer. She talked to Perrin at the Tower Genji saying, yeah, stay away from him. He's very dangerous.
Yes.
But if Brigitte and Geidel Kane are in Tel'aran'rhiod, well, shouldn't Hawkwing and Rogesh Eagle-Eye and all the other ones be there in some capacity somewhere there?
I believe that they are, but I believe that they stay true to the prefects.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
That they're not, and the only reason that Geidel Kane even appeared was because of his love for Brigitte.
Yep.
I also think that any of that knowledge that about the wolves that Brigitte knew, she'd only had a little bit of it, and once she came into the world of dreams, she started forgetting all that. I mean, once she came into the real world, all that stuff was vanishing from her. And let's keep this in mind too: her and Perrin never had a real world interaction.
Oh, you gotta go through the database. I don't. Oh, that's cool. That's cool. Now, when you first told me this theory on the phone weeks ago, you had a very poignant and profound ending. Do you remember how it all resolved? With
I do.
Okay, yeah. So you had said that you believe that Slayer took out Hopper. Hopper came back as a Darkhound, and that Perrin gave him his last kill and took him out of that misery. So you said that Hopper dies 3 times by Perrin.
Yes, yeah. I do believe that.
Yeah.
I believe Hopper died 3 times. I believe he died 3 times.
And I think, and that's the part of the theory that I love the most, because that's like it brings it around, and it's like it's a mercy that Perrin gives Hopper, and it kind of gives closure to that whole storyline, and I really love that idea.
Yeah, I think that I want to, and this is why we're doing this. We want you guys out there to hear this. We want you guys to process it, because we also want to talk about this with everyone. Yes. We want to see what everyone out there thinks. I believe that this theory has very, very few holes, but there's so many fans out there that can find things that you've never, because every time I read the stories and the books, I find something new. So this is one of my favorites. I love this theory, and I think that it has very few holes. I have actually spoken with the editor of this series at JordanCon, and she couldn't find too many holes in this either.
Hey, the challenge is out. Everyone in chat, tell us what you think of this theory. Do you agree? Do you disagree? And keep up, please. Feel free to like and subscribe. We're going to be continuing this theory. If you yourself have a theory that you would like to present to the world, contact us, DM us in Discord or email, and we'll get you on to promote your theory. This has been fun. Until then, everyone, run for your lives. This is the way of the leaf.